as well. Riversan gonna get blocked out for the moment, trying to get on in. It does find Flopper's there as well. 2 is not gonna get that elimination on the Blizzy. Flopper gonna be popped where? Can he find Jay on the other side? Can he get in the zone? Beats up the Flopper in time. His zone is just pulling away. I don't believe he's gonna be able to get in. It's right there. Can he do it? 10 HP, yes. That's in the zone for just a minute, but he had that second up protection. No builds remaining. It is going uphill. He's gotta find a path. Maybe able to find it here. Fabs building it for him. Does find it perfectly. Trying just to hold that shotgun out. Maybe able to just hold on. The lead is growing so much right now. What is Reed doing? He's not in the Elim feed. He's not trading online. Finally getting to the tavern. But right now it looks like Riversan is just running away.
One more tick in the zone will be enough for Riversan. He could end up falling down there, and he does. Give me Reed, show me where he's at, but he's done. He's dusted. That should be it. We saw the 103. There's not enough elim and placement points. Epic Whale can eliminate everyone, get every single placement point, and it still wouldn't be enough. Riversan holds on by just barely enough. He will be your final FNCS All-Star Showdown champion.
Riversan as the NA West FNCS All-Stars solo champion may have come as a surprise to some, but to anyone who's followed the competitive Fortnite scene for a long time, although he might have been the #1 favourite, Riversan winning a solo event shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone at all. Riversan's been one of the best solo players in the world since the World Cup days, and although his recent non-placements in trio events have gained him the title of Washed, his performance in this event may say otherwise. Hello everyone, my name is Coach Timmy, and welcome to Riversan's player profile. As I said, Riversan has been a tier 1 solos player since the World Cup days. He was one of the first players to truly understand and implement basic tarping knowledge, which was what led him to so much success in the World Cup meta, where everyone relied solely on the crazy amount of movement items in the game rather than good in-game knowledge. To this day, I call the style of tarping he used in the World Cup qualifiers Riversan style tarping, where the player plays as far ahead of zone and as close to storm as possible. This late game intuition showed from such an early stage set the ideals for any player looking to play from a bare bones level in Fortnite, creating a lot of the new intuitive priority lists before the no movement meta was even a conceivable thought for most players. Being the kind of revolutionary player to set these ideals meant that when he was presented with new metas, he always had an extremely solid base of late game theory to fall back on, allowing him to stay relevant and in touch with solos all the way across Chapter 2. When it came to this event, River showed why he's one of the GOATs of stacked solos, putting together 4 out of 6 games inside the top 13, and 3 out of 6 inside the top 10 to finish with an average placement of 17th. This kind of consistency only comes to those with insane RNG, or really solid fundamentals and good intuition. Experience is another thing that River has in spades, being one of the surviving members around since the true beginnings of competitive Fortnite. Although there is no way the tournaments that were held back in the Scallywag days will influence his playstyle and decision making now, this experience in multiple tournaments and placing well in them will have built up a solid amount of backbone in River. On top of that, it will allow him to have played with top tier players across his entire career rather than having to break through the ranks, meaning that through every single FNCS, he has experience working rotations, endgames, different metas, different playstyles, and other defining features of Fortnite that can change from season to season at the highest level. This experience should mean that he is adaptable to the situation ahead of him, something which is a huge requirement in solos and is evident in his games from the weekend multiple times. A lot of the old experienced players having dropped away means that River has had to adapt to the situation in front of him as the players around him become more mechanical, confident and egotistical. Staying true to his humble self and working hard has obviously worked out for this event, but what about the previous seasons on East? The idea of a player being washed essentially explains someone who used to be top tier, but who can no longer hang with the best, and River's tough run of struggling to find a trio over on East, leading to bad results, and then this compounding on itself, led to this label being very viciously applied to him. Like I've said before, washed is never a term that I can easily prescribe to top tier players in Fortnite, simply because if your fundamental understanding of the game is good, playing into any meta shouldn't be an issue for you. River is a perfect example of someone who is in a shitty situation with teammates he didn't quite work with, leading to bad results and then worse teammates the next season. Having worked with him before, I know how humble, hardworking and honest he is. He puts in the hours and time he needs to succeed. Unfortunately, this kind of professional player is quite rare in Fortnite, which means that I've actually never been happier for someone when I saw him take the win. Being able to step up and perform in a game mode like solos when his reputation for being washed was on the line will make a big difference to the way he is perceived on West for his returning season, and I can't wait to see how he goes. When you have the kind of grasp on fundamentals that River does, solo performance generally comes down to a combination of confidence, aim and mechanics. Although River isn't flashy, his mechanics are good enough to hang at a top level, leaving the results mainly up to his aim and confidence on the day. I will forever hold that River's first game 3rd place in this tournament was the reason for his success, as I lead back to the idea I discussed in my video I did on the Omzo's UEFA Cup win. Check that out if you haven't, by the way. And that aim is a self-feeding confidence mechanism. Seeing your plans and ideas work in the real world is so important to gaining confidence, and when River watched the first game work out, his confidence would have been sky high. He then went on to win the second game, and from that point on, the tournament was his to lose. You can see the confidence he gained in game 3 when he jumps in on Kytrix when he's low, something a player who is as conservative and careful as River is wouldn't usually do. This spike in confidence would have had him playing at his absolute best, and goes to show that believing in yourself in the biggest moments is putting you halfway towards the prize. Thank you guys for watching.